As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Hannibal Helmerto is a walking work of art. There is more ink on the outside of his body than there is blood flowing within. Take a look at the ears, ladies and gentlemen. The ears are forever elongated like the Ogoho tribe from darkest Africa. Take a look inside his mouth, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, he has a forked tongue, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, take one more look inside his mouth. Look at the teeth now, ladies and gentlemen. What you're looking at, believe it not. He's 40,000-year-old mammoth ivory. That's correct, ladies and gentlemen. He has mammoth ivory transplanted into his mouth. The great Dandini, if you'd like to assist Hannibal Helmerto in his quest. Ladies and gentlemen, Hannibal Helmerto is a walking work of art, but there's a lot more to Hannibal Helmerto than that. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. He also happens to be the world's greatest sword swallower. Now we live in very cynical times, ladies and gentlemen, and people don't believe that sword swallowing is true. They still think the sword retracts into the handle. Of course it doesn't, and there's around 80 sword swallowers all over the world proving otherwise. But we intend to prove to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, beyond any doubt, that sword swallowing is indeed a genuine art. And the way we're going to do that is the first sword he will swallow, of course, has no handle. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, 18 inches long, made of solid steel, attached to the end are purely chains. We're going to ask him to take the sword, to place the sword inside his mouth, to force the sword down his throat, past his lungs, until only the chain is protruding. Here goes. Hannibal Helmerto! Good. Now we've proved to you the sword swallow is indeed a genuine art. We're going to take things a little further. And the next sword he will swallow is my personal favorite. His favorite too. The sword quaintly known as the Sword of the Serpent. Named because of his unique shape, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to allow Hannibal to swallow this little beauty, he's had to have even more body modifications. And he's had what we call in the sideshow trade, floating ribs. That basically means the top two ribs, the top one on either side of his rib cage, are forever broken. And they just float about above the others. Show the good people of Dorset your floating ribs. Take a look. There's one. And there's the other. And for any avoidance of doubt, he's going to pass a munchie now and let you touch the floating ribs. Here he comes. Feel free to touch the floating ribs. I want you to go home tonight satisfied. The sword swallowing is a genuine art, you know, because you've seen it before your very eyes. I want you to go home tonight satisfied that he really does have floating ribs. Go on, touch them. Want to prove that no bits of rubber in there. These really are ribs floating around above his rib cage. Have a good feel. Okay, Hannibal Helmerto, we're now going to ask you to be so kind to take the Sword of the Serpent, to place it inside his mouth, to force it down his throat, past his lungs. Pay particular attention as the sword goes down, and you will see the ribs floating from left to to right. He goes. Hannibal Alberto! Good, okay, now we're seeing him swallowing the sword in the other hand, and we're seeing him swallowing the serpent sword. Now it's time. Yeah. Not for one sword, not for two swords, but for three swords at the same time. I've got a little confession to make, ladies and gentlemen. All the swords she's swallowed so far have in fact been blunt, whereas this little beauty is as sharp as a razor. But as I say, ladies and gentlemen, he's not going to swallow one sword for you. He's not going to swallow two swords. Believe it not, he will attempt to swallow three swords at the same time. He's the only sword swallower in the world to attempt to swallow three swords of this size, of this sharpness, simultaneously. Here goes. He's right in the mud. Ladies and gentlemen, Hannibal Alberto! Oh look, there's a hot roast you have for dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy! Okay, now we've seen you swallowing the sword without a hand, and we've seen you swallowing the serpent sword, and even three swords simultaneously. But you ain't seen nothing yet. It's now time for his piece de resistance. A giant of a sword, ladies and gentlemen, measuring a staggering 3 foot 6 inches long, made of solid steel once again, and of course, it's as sharp as a razor. We're going to ask him to take the sword, to place it inside his mouth, to force it down his throat, past his lungs, and deep, deep, deep into his intestine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's more. Once the sword is deep inside him, if you go wild enough, he will bow forward, pushing his internal organs this way, that way, and that way. But ladies and gentlemen of Dorset, we'd like you to go wild before he attempts this stunt, in case he doesn't survive. He is Hannibal Alberto! Hey! That's pretty wild, Hannibal. Okay, here goes. Let's drop it. Here comes the bow. Ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed king of the sword swallowers, the one and only Hannibal Alberto! All right! Don't need no teenage empathy. Don't need to know how it ought to be. 'Cause you're in unknown territory, so get real. Wow! Now you've entered my domain. Enough to drive a girl insane. But no one left for you to blame, so get scared. Wow! Now let's go, and now let's go. Some say I'm better, but when a nightmare seems so real, you know that you have entered hell. Really heat, a taste of meat, necromantic vampire treats. Feel repelled, or can't you tell? Lift up your skirts and go to hell. Your alter ego looks like you. Don't know which one that I'm talking to. You catatonic attitude is unreal. I wanna feel and steal your soul. Your delirium is out of control. Pride always comes before a fall. I'm appalled. Wow! Now it's gone and nightmares go. But some may stay a rest or yes they do. When a nightmare seems so real, you know that you have entered streets. Feel repelled, or can't you tell? Lift up your skirts and go to hell. Wow! From hell, through the living air. We hope to see you all again dead soon. Till the next